Okay.
The Tewksbury Conservation Commission called the meeting order on April 3rd, 2019. First item on the agenda is approval of minutes from March 20th, 2019. And
We don't have any, no?
all right, and we don't have any. Next item on the agenda is a continued hearing from March 20th. Public hearing notice of intent, John Fineros, BTGOG LLC, 2131 Main Street, map 96, lot 53, DEP 3051070. The applicant is requesting a continuance to April 17th, 2019. Is there anyone here for that? All right, can I get a motion to continue?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next item on the agenda, continued from March 20th. Public hearing, notice of intent, Richard Montori, Town Manager, 984 Main Street, map and lot 47 to 79, 4780, 4881, and 4893, DEP number 3051073. Applicant is requesting a continuance to April 17th, 2019. Is anyone here for that? Can I get a motion to continue to, actually, what is it?
So moved.
April 17th. Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next item on the agenda, I'm going to recuse myself. So, who wants to take over?
Nicole.
Nicole.
Okay.
You don't have to, but you're over here.
Okay, next item on the agenda is a request for determination of applicability. John Costa, 95 Bridge Street, map 98, lot 120. Is this a public hearing? Yep. So do I ask if anything needs to be heard?
After.
What's that? Okay, this guy's here. Good evening.
Good evening.
Could you state your name for the record, please?
Douglas Sears, I'm his attorney in Maine.
Okay.
Mark Costa, 95 Bridge.
Okay. Can they just go ahead if we need to?
They can.
Yeah, go ahead, sorry.
Do you want
Go ahead.
a summary of your project?
Basically, he had when he moved in, there was a shed, and the shed had been there for about 30 years. After a while, it got rather rotted, and Mr. Costa, I think, took it down to its footings, and now wants to put in the same spot a 8x10 pre-manufactured shed, so he can put his lawnmower and snowmobile and snow blower and grandchildren's toys and stuff, and that's all he wants to do.
Okay.
So we're seeking to put something now where something used to be, and just would like to be able to be blessed by the Conservation Commission.
Okay. Do you want to add anything to add?
Yeah, I just wanted to put back something that I already had, and I just purchased a brand new snow blower, and I want to keep it for a few years. I have it right now under my deck, and I want to put a couple other things there, like anyone else in the neighborhood has a shed. I had one there, and it rotted, I had to take it down.
Yeah.
And it's coming already made. I'm not building anything. I'm not digging, or it's coming pre-made from Ethan's shed.
Okay. This is a public hearing. Is there anyone else to be heard on this matter? Okay.
Bill Connors, I'm in support of replacing the shed. Seems silly that we're in front of you, but it's just a shed. It's not a foundation or anything. That's all I have to say.
Thank you.
He is a
He's
neighbor.
in a butter.
Okay.
John had that shed for years. It's just trying to repair it and replacing it. So that shed was there forever.
Okay. Can I have your address too for the record?
80 Bridge Street.
Okay. Thank you. Anyone else? All right. Mr. Holland?
I have no questions.
Mr. Sheehan?
No, I have no problem.
Stefania?
No grading or anything, that you're just placing it on blocks? Okay, I have no concerns.
I also have no issues with this. So I guess we'll make a motion to close the public hearing. Is that,
So moved.
can I get a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, so I guess we're looking for a negative determination. Can I get a motion to that effect?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Chairwoman.
Thank you.
Next item on the agenda is a public hearing notice of intent for Robert Pondelli, Tewksbury Village Condominium LLC, 15 Robbie Terrace Way, map 24, lot 78, DEP 3051074.
Hi, how are you? Good, thanks. Where's the pen?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. For the record, Dick Hugo from Woodland Design, representing the applicants.
And, Mr. Chairman, Joe LaLiberty, I'm a principal in Robbie Terrace Way, Tewksbury Village condominiums.
Mr. Chairman, board members, we're here this evening slightly embarrassed because we had filed a request for an extension a month ago. It wouldn't have expired, the order of conditions. So we came in, we had a discussion with Stefania, and it was like, well, you know, there is no mechanism, to, I guess, to extend a order of conditions once it's expired. So the blame is on us, so here we are. Most of the project has already been constructed. The only vacant lot in there right now is Lot 7. We filed a notice of intent on Lot 7, and then I had some discussions with Stefania that, you know, the other lots, some of them are completed, some of them are graded, some of them are loamed and seeded, but not all of them are. All of the drainage is in, the detention basin is in, the detention basin has all been seeded and stabilized and working properly. So what we did was we came in with the sheet that I just handed out to you, Mr. Chairman and board members, is the remainder of the subdivision. And what I did was I put, what you see in red is the actual as-built location of the dwellings as opposed to where they were on the original sheet. They're all very fairly close, but we have to finish grading and stabilizing. But all the catch basins are in, all of the drain manholes are in, the detention basin's in, and everything is working fine. This, just to refresh your memory, this was one of those LED designs, or LID designs rather, where we utilizing the roadside swale system. So when you see Lot 7, that swale isn't in yet. It'll have to be completed in the same across the street, but the rest of it is all in and graded and draining properly. We did get our DEP file number. The wetlands haven't changed. The silt fences have been in place and will continue to be in place. So what we're respectfully requesting is to have the commission entertain the new order of conditions for Lot 7 and probably extend it to include the sheet C4 that we added on this evening, so that everything is what was approved previously. The only thing that's changed is mostly the footprint on Lot 7. We flip-flopped it. The driveway was on the right-hand side on the original plan. It's now on the left-hand side.
All righty. I have a quick question. Has any sort of signage been put up as a no disturb zone or potential vernal pool, no disturb per order Tewksbury Conservation Commission?
Yes, it has.
Correct.
The open space has already been deeded to the
Yeah.
town. The posts with the signs will be put up when we come for the certificate of compliance.
Okay.
So, because that's basically what the silt fence is, so what our procedure is we know where that 25-foot no disturb zone is, because that's what the silt fence is, so then we'll put the posts in. At the time this was approved, we didn't have those, the commission hadn't approved those medallions that we've been using, so that's what we utilize now. We have no problem if, to incorporate into the order of conditions that
Excellent.
that they should be the, what, I don't know if we have a name for that or not, but the standard Tewksbury Conservation do not disturb
Do
plaque.
not disturb per order of the Tewksbury Conservation Commission.
But the open space for because this was an open space residential subdivision, so that open space has already been deeded over.
Is that how we phrase it, or we just say permanent demarcation? Or do you want to say that?
I don't think we have a
What I can do,
specific-
Mr. Chairman, if you don't mind, is I have that on an 8.5 by 11, it's a standard sheet. I'll just,
I have it.
we can just incorporate that by reference in the,
Can I see that? Oh, I like it.
yeah, one of the local sign companies in town, he makes those up now, and we send everybody there to get them. He already has them in stock, so it's,
Yeah.
That's the one we approved a while back, correct?
yeah, I think it was,
A year ago, whatever.
yeah. We actually, what we did, Mr. Chairman, just, we had them custom made so that they would fit on a 4x4 post. The ones you buy commercially, they stuck over the edge of the post, and they were getting ripped off because of that extra half inch that was on either side, or people were bending over. So Jim Roper from Roper Sign made them so that they're 3.5 inches, so when you put them on a 4x4, you're not gonna catch your clothes on it when you walk by, or whatever. And they're aluminum with, I think, baked on paint, so it doesn't.
Kynar 500?
It's actually, it's like embossed too, so
Yep.
it has longevity.
Sounds good. Mr. Holland, do you have any issues?
I
questions?
don't have any issues, so we're looking to do the extension first?
Well, we have to actually make a new order because we can't do an extension. If we had come in a month ago, you could have.
Okay, so we're going to do the same order of conditions that we previously submitted? Okay, I'm good.
Actually, I just, you had any list of special conditions that were on the original notice of intent? Let me just, before I get to you, Nicole, original conditions, DFW's comment, is this $10,000 bond still outstanding?
We haven't got the bond.
Okay. So do we want to reference that in this one, if it was referenced in the other one? So that when we get the certificate of compliance, it gets restored?
We don't have any problem with any of those conditions, because
Right.
if we had come in to get our certificate, if we had gotten our extension and we came in to get our certificate of compliance, we would have been bound by those conditions anyways, so we don't have any problem.
Okay. And alterations to approved driveway layout, it's basically what we see. Homeowners responsible for swales in front of properties. So there's no swale in front of this one, is there?
Yeah, there is.
Okay. So we'll put that as a condition. Does that go, a homeowner association or anything?
No, basically what it is, all it is the front lawn.
Yeah.
Just does this, so when they're mowing their lawn, they'll take care of that too.
Okay. So as far as I know, we just need to add the $10,000 bond, the homeowner responsible for swales, and permanent signage for the do not disturb zone.
I just want to clear up, they did give the bond already.
Right.
So they wouldn't need a new one.
Yeah,
Right.
Keep the previous bond in place.
So we have to mention it on this notice of intent so it gets returned when this one gets a certificate of compliance?
I think what you could just say is the bond for the previous order condition, we transfer it to this new order.
Sounds good.
That
Yep.
way, you still have control over it.
All right, we'll put that in for the record. So Nicole, any issues, questions?
No, no comments.
Oh, I'm good.
All right. So this is a public hearing. Anyone to be heard on the matter? Seeing no one rising. I don't see anyone with any major issues, so I get a motion to close the public hearing?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. So for the NOI, can I get a motion for a standard order of conditions with notes that the $10,000 bond from the expired NOI will be transferred to this one, permanent demarcation of the no disturb zone, and what else was there?
Special conditions.
Yeah, what was that other special? Careful, man. Homeowners responsible for swales in front of property. All right, so can I get a motion to that effect?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed, motion carries.
Thank you very much.
All right. Next item on the agenda is public hearing notice of intent for Robert Richard, Noria Energy, 1975 Main Street, map 84, lot 61, DEP 3051075.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Maureen Harrell from North Environmental Services. I'm here on behalf of the applicant. This site's located at the corner of Shawshene Street and Main Street. It's across the street from the Market Basket Plaza. It's the Shell gas station. And presently, we have a field catch basin and dry well on site, so we would like to repair that. We have two main resource areas. We have a bordering vegetated wetland that's shown in green on the plan. That's actually located off-site. And we also have bordering land subject to flooding or the 100-year floodplain. Now, the 100-year floodplain is determined to be at elevation 87. So essentially, this entire site is located within the 100-year floodplain. But what we'd like to do is replace the catch basin, replace the failed dry wells, put in new systems within the resource area, and also replace the fence for the trash enclosure back on the property. And essentially, all of the work will go back to the existing grade, so we won't be filling any wetland. We won't have to compensate for any floodplain.
All right. My only comment would be, can we have some sort of fencing to prevent trash and stuff and litter from going into the wetlands? Because I noticed that around that area, just trash blowing in from all sides. Comes in from the Burger King, comes in from the street, and comes in from that. So I was like wondering if there could be any sort of something that could be put up to prevent the trash from going into the wetlands.
Right. The only thing with that is that the wetland's off our property, so I'm not sure how we could put a fence up without the adjacent property.
Well, coming off your land. Yeah, coming off your property, just like any litter or anything.
Well, we do have a fence around the trash trash.
Because I'll tell you the truth, across the corner at the mobile station, I was talking about it, and I said they'll pick up the litter, and I didn't have it. Now there's all sorts of trash and litter in the wetlands from that gas station across the street. So that's why I'm saying, it's like, I don't want to have people going out there, you know. But anyways, just a thought.
No, I think it's a great idea. I'm not sure how we can do it around the wetland with it not
Okay.
being on our
Yeah.
property.
So anyways, Mr. Holland.
I have no questions.
Ms. Mercer?
No questions.
I'm good.
This is a public hearing. Anyone to be heard on this matter? Seeing no one rising. Okay. So, we're still waiting for the town engineer?
No.
No? He's all set?
Yep, so the town engineer reviewed the stormwater management, and he doesn't see any issues with the changes. He did recommend that they install inspection ports on each row of the chamber system to facilitate inspections and maintenance. I don't,
That's not a problem. We can have the engineers add that to the plan.
Okay, so we'll do a continuance until we get the plan in place?
We could do that, or
All right.
if you feel comfortable closing it, subject to the change.
Nah, I don't like those subject tos, unless it's like really minor, but there's a change to the plan, engineering, so.
Okay.
Unless anyone has, just to continue it to April 17th, that's it? Yeah, April 17th. I get a motion to continue to April 17th?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed, motion carries. All right. So if you could see about putting up a fence for trash, but,
We can talk to that client and see.
yeah,
Okay.
be nice to keep it, you know, nice looking. You here for the next one, too?
I got the next one.
All right. So, next item on the agenda is continued for March 20th, a discussion, James Wu, 1201 Main Street, map 60, lot 39, DEP 305997.
Okay, so this property is located at 1201 Main Street, and I think the commission may recall that we had requested an extension, I think it was either 2 weeks ago or a month ago, just to finish up some of the work on site, to do some of the plantings within the compensatory storage area. And as part of the order of conditions, as a special order, it states that a permanent conservation restriction needs to be in place for the site. So as you can see on the plan, there's the hash mark area would be where the conservation restriction is, which is primarily wetland and also the 25-foot buffer that the commission requires. Typically, with a conservation restriction, it's pretty useful for large sites. It's useful if it runs into different trail systems. The process to actually file a conservation restriction is pretty intensive. Usually takes 6 to 9 months to get it. You have to do a baseline report. It has to go to a specific entity, a nonprofit or conservation commission. And the Conservation Commission also has to monitor this area to make sure that nobody's cutting any trees, there's no four-wheelers running through the site, there's nobody dumping refrigerators or tires or what have you. So I'm here tonight to ask the commission to consider either a conservation easement, which I think would have the same effect, that basically this area is protected, you can't cut it, you can't use it, you can't put any structures on it, there's no sheds on it, perhaps maybe some passive recreation in the area, or
So something on the deed, a restriction on the deed that says this area is not to be disturbed and permanent demarcation shall be maintained in perpetuity.
Right. So I was just asking the commission if that's something you would consider, rather than going through the conservation restriction process, which is timely and it's costly, and it also requires the commission to do, at a minimum, yearly reports and take photographs.
Ms. Mercer, you have any?
I think I'm going to defer to what Stefania's expertise says on this.
All right. Well, why
Is
don't we
it
have-
sort of, yeah.
Stefania, do you
It's a
have
lot more
any,
for her, I feel.
Maybe it would be helpful if you explain the process of a conservation easement, or if we do a deed restriction, something like that, and how it is different, if it is different than,
So basically, with the conservation easement, it would be the landowners would still own the land, but the conservation would have an easement on it. So you could passively use it, but with the restrictions of no cutting or anything of that nature. See, it's similar to a deed restriction where the owners would still own the land, but in the future, if, let's say they wanted to cut this area, build on this area, it specifically says in the deed restriction, you cannot do that, and it's not allowed. And it's on the deeds, it's filed at the registry of deeds, so if there's any type of, if this person sells the property and new owners come, they will clearly see that there's a deed restriction, and you can't do anything.
If somebody dumps a refrigerator on this property, you guys are still responsible for it? Is that still true?
The landowner is responsible.
Yeah, okay.
So I think essentially it does the same thing and protects the area. It's just a lot less intensive in terms of paperwork, and it's a lot less intensive for Stefania, who would have to do reports every year and take photographs and go out and have that commitment.
Mr. Sheehan?
No, I'm good. I'm good.
Okay. So this is a discussion. Is that right?
yeah.
So we don't have anything to really
Well, I mean, it depends
make a
what the
motion?
commission wants to do. If
Well, this
they
is
wa-
this is an amendment to the order?
No.
No? Oh, this is a,
It's a discussion to see what the commission would like to do, if anything. If they would like a deed restriction in replace of that, I mean, that could be an
what do people think about
insignificant
that?
change.
The commission?
I think that sounds pretty agreeable.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I would agree, a deed restriction,
Okay.
permanent signage with the demarcation maintained in perpetuity
Sure.
sort of language that you, just bring the language in that'll be on the deed restriction to Stefania.
Okay, so is this something you want me to come back formally with, and then you vote, or is this something we could do when we file the certificate of compliance?
I think with the certificate of compliance, if you came in with that
Okay,
deed restriction wording and the fact that, I don't know if it has to be filed, but, I mean, it has to be filed.
right,
But whether it has to be filed right there with the certificate of compliance,
okay,
you know, you probably file both at the same time,
okay.
right? So, but there's technically, I mean, this is, I don't know if we can just like do it without an amendment. So you think that's okay, or?
I mean, it's what the commission decides. Do they think that this is a big enough change where we need an amended order of conditions, or do we think that this is just a non-substantial change?
Right.
The-
But it's not even listed as a non-substantial change, it's just listed as a discussion.
I think we can still make a motion.
The special conditions in the order says a permanent conservation restriction will be approved by the conservation agent. So the way that I kind of read it was up to Stefania, and,
Okay?
you know, we just wanted to make sure everybody was on the same page and okay with it before we push
All right.
forward.
Okay, so I guess we could make a motion that we've heard the discussion and agree that a deed restriction presented during the certificate of compliance would be sufficient to satisfy this special condition.
Okay.
I get a motion to that effect?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Great, thank you.
And we And, should not do this one too, we should give her a while. Next item on the agenda is an extension request for Richard Filosi, 580 Shawshene Street, map 84, lot 60, DEP 3051005. Hi. Good evening. So, what are we here for? Request extension for 2 years to 25/31/21. All right, 2-year extension. Stefania, do you have any issues with this extension? Mr. Holland?
I have no questions.
No?
Nope.
Can I get a motion to extend the order of conditions until May 31st, 2021? Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. You're all set.
Thank you very much.
Awesome. And let's see. Next item on the agenda is a we've got a request for continuance. Okay, continued from 9/19/2018, request for certificate of compliance, J.J. Phelan and Sons, 1029 East Street, map 103, lot 129, DEP 305-841. The applicant is requesting a continuance to April 17th, 2019. Okay. Any issues? Can I get a motion to that effect?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next item on the agenda is an emergency certification ratification for Empire Construction, 913 South Street, map 98, lot 200. Failed septic system, and they went onto municipal sewer. Any comments, concerns? Can I get a motion to ratify the emergency certification?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next item on the agenda, emergency certification ratification for straight line excavation, 45 Finn Street, map 94, lot 326. This again was for a failed septic system, and they tied into municipal sewer. Any issues?
No.
I get a motion to ratify the emergency certification?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. That's the last item on the agenda. If there's any new business,
I have none.
and
None.
administrator, and we have a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.